is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
The Indians are busting out the red jerseys tonight as we turn back the clock to the Super 70s. It was the decade when Gaylord Perry was an Indian. Rick Manning won a Gold Glove. Dwayne Kuiper hit a home run. And Dennis Eckersley threw a no-hitter, all in those blood-red double-knit jerseys. And don't forget opening day in 1975, when Frank Robinson homered in his first historic game as manager of the Tribe. The Indians and the Rays are ready to disco down next on Sports Time Ohio. Tonight's Indians-Rays game is presented by Hen Coop Tires. Another beautiful day in St. Petersburg, Florida. And for the ball game, we move indoors to Tropicana Field. It's Game 3 of this 4-game weekend series between the Tribe and the Rays. And we're turning back the clock tonight to the 1970s, huh?
Yes, we are.
Red uniforms. The Indians first introduced the red tops in 1974, and then your rookie year, 75, is when they went to the red on red, which is what the guys will be wearing out here tonight.
Yeah, as Boog Powell used to say, I feel like a Bloody Mary, or he looked like a Bloody Mary. The big guys didn't like to wear the red pants.
Well, I think they'll look great tonight, and hopefully the Indians can stay on the winning track. They got a win last night, even though, once again, for the 6th straight game, they only scored in 1 inning.
Yeah, but it was a big inning, and it was all started by a solo home run by Encarnacion, and that got them rolling a little bit, and they put together a 5-run inning, and it's hard to do, only score 1 inning, throughout the course of 6 straight games. You got to go back a long time since the last time that happened to the Indians, but the 5-run was good, and through this 6-game stretch, they scored 4 one time, 2 one time, and they had 3 solo runs in the stretch like that, but scoreless. 51 of the last 57 innings, and they're 2-4 in that stretch, though.
Well, and that's the thing. They've gained games in the standings, even though they haven't played all that well. But the good news is the pitching has been very good. Carlos Carrasco, once again last night, was dynamite. Now Mike Clevenger will try to duplicate that.
Well, let's hope so. He's got to go out there. It's going to be a tough matchup. He's pitching against Chris Archer, so let's hope he can get the ball rolling and they can score first.
All right, we'll be back with our throwback game to 1975. It's the Indians and the Tampa Bay Rays. Alan Jensen are up next in the studio. We'll hear from Andre Knott just ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution. We are back here at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, ready for tonight's game between the Indians and the Rays, and we go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Thank you very much, Matt. Well, the uniforms are right up Mike Clevenger's alley. He loves them, can't wait to get out on the mound with them. The other thing for him, he hasn't started since July 31st, but there's no restriction on his pitches. And in tonight's Hear Right Sounds of the Game, he talks about the uniforms and getting back into a rhythm.
Oh, they're awesome. The throwback 70s, it's perfect.
So you can let your hair flow, you can actually go out and play in them. Do you get excited to wear different uniforms or uniforms you may have saw, growing up or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, a little like taste of the past. You get to feel out some of the uniforms with sometimes I'll go high pants with the throwbacks, and I don't know, it's fun.
What you've been through this year, I know you bounced back and forth from the bullpen to starting last year a little bit. Does that help you today prepare for what you have to do after being out of rotation for about a week or so?
I mean, I think it kind of helped me just come in this year with an open mind that, with the versatility that's going to be back and forth, and that may be the role I play, so it wasn't a super surprise. It was just something that I kind of last year did get me ready for.
Big Clev's going to look just fine out in all red tonight. Let's take a look at Chris Archer. He's the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Rays. Archer is 8-6 on the year, a .380 earned run average. He's coming off a very good game against Milwaukee where he went 6 innings, 3 hits, and 1 run, but had a no decision because Tampa's been having a tough time scoring. And as a matter of fact, in his career, Archer is 0-6 against the Indians, the only team that he has not beat in the American League. So he's going to be looking for some runs, and he wants a win.
Indians starting lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance. For Terry Francona, the club ranked 5th in the American League in batting average, or 7th overall in runs scored. Lindor in the leadoff spot. You see Ramirez, Encarnacion, Jay Bruce occupying that middle third. And then tonight, Roberto Perez behind the plate. Still no Jason Kipnis in the lineup. He did, though, go through his workout drill before the game. It didn't put him on the DL, so that's a good sign as he moves forward.
Yeah, he must have passed it. Give him the day off, and we'll probably see him in that lineup tomorrow.
So Francisco Lindor ready to go. Chris Archer, right-hander winding it up. And his first pitch is off the plate for ball 1. Pop to shallow left. In comes Corey Dickerson. 1 away.
Let's set the Rays defense, brought to you by WB Mason. That's Dickerson, who is in left field just making that catch. Smith is in center. Souza Jr. in right. It'll be Plouffe gets a start at third. Longoria is out with that bruised thumb from last night. Echeverria is at short. Miller at second. Duda at first. Ramos catching.
Phil Cuzzy, the crew chief, has the plate tonight. Mark Ripperger, Greg Gibson, Vic Carapazza on the bases. Bradley Zimmer steps in. 3 men shift to the right side of the infield for the Rays. And that pitch got away. Ball 1. The Indians win last night. Keeps them 3.5 games in front of Minnesota. Royals have lost 5 in a row. They've dropped to 5 games out in the division. Zimmer pops it back out of play. Tampa Bay, despite the loss last night, they're still only a half game out of a wild card spot. And it's crazy when you think about New York, Minnesota. Those are the top 2 right now in the wild card standings. Then you've got the Angels, Mariners, Tampa, each just a half game behind. Off-speed pitch. In there for a strike to get ahead of the count. If they all stay bunched together that closely into September, it's going to make scoreboard watching a real pleasure for a lot of people. And for some, it's going to give them a lot of heartburn.
Well, and it's going to give a lot of cities opportunities coming down there with hope up until that last week or even to the last day of the season.
Archer's 2-2. Good breaking ball. And Zimmer swung over the top.
Well, this is his bread and butter, the slider. That's his strikeout pitch, and that's number 190 on the season for Archer. He's second in the league behind Chris Sale in strikeouts. 190 strikeouts in 154 innings.
Storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. That slider from Archer, definitely his go-to pitch. And we'll see what Jay Bruce's impact can have for both Edwin Encarnacion and Carlos Santana. He sits right in the middle of those two in the Indians lineup. Jose Ramirez, 2 for 9 with an RBI in each of the first 2 games of the series. And that fastball took off up out of the zone. 2-1. Upstairs, 3 balls and a strike. And he walked him. So Archer unable to find the strike zone with Ramirez, and a 2-out walk will keep the inning alive now for Edwin.
Yeah, nice eye, didn't even have to swing the bat.
Encarnacion clobbered a home run to center field. Got the Indians on the board last night, started a 5-run rally. Straight back.
Well, the home run on a fastball away, and we got a great shot from up above. That's up on the roof, and what a shot that is. Straightaway center field. That got that. That was the first run and the leadoff hitter of the 5-run 5th inning for the Indians last night.
Down low.
Indians, and the last time, you know, Archer's had 15 straight starts of at least 4 innings. The last one coming, it was May 15th against the Indians, where he only went 5 innings in that ball game. They jumped him early, scored 5 in the first.
Not a play. Took a healthy hack. Count evens 2-2. Rays have a 3-man shift to the left side of the infield for Encarnacion. And now you notice Miller shifting back to the right side when they get to 2 strikes.
Maybe slider down and away. That's what I would think.
Fastball away. Full count. I also wonder, Rick, if they just were thinking with 2 strikes, there's more likelihood Ramirez would be running, so they wanted him a little closer.
Okay, that
to the
makes
bag,
sense.
Maybe. He'll be off now for sure. And payoff pitch is grounded to third. Behind the bag, Plouffe. Long throw, and Edwin beats it out. Ramirez gets to third.
It's the speed of the red uniforms. He was able to get down the line.
That play looked like it was happening in slow motion.
Look at the dugout down there. They're all clapping for him. Look at They're saying don't pull a hamstring. Well, you'll see Plouffe trying to make the throw on the turf, get it over there, and Eddie gets an infield single. I'm wondering when the last time he had to put it down the line and get after it, and beats it out for a single to keep the inning going. Look at, they're giving him abuse from the dugout.
Somewhere, Boog Powell is smiling.
That looked like Rico Cardi going down the line.
Well, a chance now with 2 down as Jay Bruce steps in. And now the Rays employ a 3-man shift to the right side of the infield. And Ramos going to go out and let everybody know what they're thinking here. Jay Bruce, in his first start in an Indians uniform last night, had a couple of hits, scored a run. Now a big 2-out RBI opportunity. Bounced in front of the plate. Ramos kept it from going to the backstop. Game up empty. It's 1-1.
That's a changeup to the left-hander. He has the fastball, changeup right there, and his slider.
That fastball is popped in the air.
That's going to be in play.
Plouffe circling under it and caught out. The ball drops. Ramirez scores. Bruce into second with a gift double. Encarnacion stopping at third.
Look at this crowd. It's a lot of Indians fans. They lost that one in the roof. I knew Plouffe wasn't going to get there. His back is to the infield, and it was going to come back in play. But Dickerson, they have him playing so deep in the outfield, you know, he just never gets in there, and he's looking for Plouffe. He thinks he has it, and the outfielder should take advantage of it.
That's weird. You're right. Plouffe wasn't even looking for the ball.
You know, he lost.
I'm sorry, not Plouffe.
Yeah,
Dickerson.
Dickerson was looking at Plouffe coming back out because he starts so deep. And look at Archer's upset with him. He probably feels he should be out of the inning, but the Indians are on the board. It'll go as a double, and Bruce will get another hit and an RBI. And let's see Dickerson. He plays so deep because he's not an athletic left fielder. Now, look at him. He's looking at his third baseman. You've got to take charge out there. If you're the left fielder, that's tough enough for you to catch, let alone him with his back to the infield. So the Indians catch a break. They'll take the lead. And Archer upset here. If they can get another base hit, he'll really be hurt.
Ray's defense wasn't all that sharp last night. And a miscue here early cost him as Carlos Santana takes a strike. Carlos Santana 0 for 6 in the series with a couple of walks. Same shift for Santana that they had for Jay Bruce. And he takes it's 0-2. Got to the 700 walk plateau last night. Trying to decide what they want to do here, and Santana steps out. Six of those 9 runs have come against the Indians.
Yeah, well, the 5 in the last start on the 15th of May. And
wow, they can't get on the same page here.
No, they cannot. You go back to that day, and Santana got a base hit to left center field in the gap, and then Lonnie Chisenhall 3-run dinger. That sent him reeling to a guy that was drafted by the Cleveland Indians. Chris Archer was.
And the 0-2 is swung out and missed. So Archer gets out without any further damage. But the pop that drops gives the Indians a 1-0 lead. The Rays are coming to bat.
And they'll turn it over to the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher Mike Clevenger. He has not started a ball game since the 31st of July. That was back at Boston. He did come out and he pitched one game August 6th for an inning against the Yankees, but his first start in about 12 days. And Clevenger 5-4 with a 4 ERA. He's 4-2 on the road. This will be his first start ever against the Rays. He did pitch a third of an inning against them on the 16th of May.
Rays starting lineup for Kevin Cash, brought to you by Hankook Tires. You'll notice one absent player, Evan Longoria, not in the lineup. He was nailed by a ground ball last night on his thumb, and that's a key loss. He's the longest tenured player in Rays history. It's an offense that ranks 11th in the league in batting average, 10th in runs scored. They do hit the long ball. Souza, Morrison, 24 and 28 home runs respectively.
Yeah, and the Rays have been shut out 4 times in the last 7 games. They've had a tough homestand as far as scoring goes.
First ball swinging. Corey Dickerson fouls the Mike Clevenger fastball back.
That's probably the frustration you see on Archer's face when they didn't catch that ball. He's thinking, but you can't give any runs away
when you're not scoring.
Exactly.
Yeah. Breaking ball fouled back. It's 0-2. Tampa even has the matching batting helmets with their throwback uniforms. It's kind of cool when you think about it for the Rays to do a throwback game to the 70s, since the franchise didn't exist until 1998.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're keeping the same colors they have now and just
if
going
we
back
would have been around in the 70s, this is what it would have looked like.
It would have looked just like this.
Up and away. Probably gives Tito flashbacks to his early days in Montreal when they used to wear the blue. Remember the light blue uniforms the Expos had?
A lot of teams went with that powder blue road, uniforms. The Cardinals, the Brewers, the Phillies. Back in the 70s.
Out of play.
Got away from the gray a little bit.
Rangers did too at one time.
Rangers, yes, they did. They had the powder blue, absolutely. A lot of teams. Louisville Lepers.
1-2. A line drive right up the middle. Base hit. Leadoff man aboard for the Rays.
Well, Dickerson gets a pitch away. That wasn't a bad pitch, down and away at the knees. But boy, he was able to reach it. He didn't try and swing too hard or pull off of it. And he gets the base hit up the middle to get the Rays started today.
Lucas Duda, the DH, 0 for 7 in the series, has struck out 5 times. And a fastball away. Low and away. Extra style points have to be awarded tonight to Frankie Lindor and Abe Almonte.
You like the socks?
Yeah, they've got the roll-up pants with the stirrups.
The stirrups, yeah, yes, that's the way it was back then. Nobody wore their pants long. There was only one guy. That was George Hendrick, and he was the only one that wore them down shoe tops.
The 2-0. Right at Santana, steps on the bag, goes to second, and Lindor gets the tag on him. It's a double play.
Well done. Santana realized it was hit hard enough he could step on first and throw to second, and gave Lindor a nice feed. Frankie goes straight down with the tag. One hopper, step on the bag, give a good throw, and it's a nice double play.
Now you'll get an idea of why Santana had to sort of lob that throw a little bit. He was right in the lane. 2 down, Steven Souza Jr. He's ahead of him 0-2. With two down here in the first, and the Indians out to an early 1-0 lead. Tried to hold up, but he went too far. Clevenger gets his first strikeout, and it's a scoreless first for the Indians right-hander that drive on top 1-0.
play MLB action with all your favorite MLB teams and players. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com.
Abraham Almonte leading off, takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Almonte last night 0 for 3. Swung on and missed. Actually, Almonte was out of the lineup last night. He played in the first game of the series and was 0 for 3. Now the 1-1. Fouls it back. Almonte in the lineup tonight, giving Austin Jackson the night off. But Jackson also gives Tito that veteran bat off the bench, perhaps late in the game if needed. Out looking is Almonte. Third strikeout for Archer. Down to Andre.
Well, Jason kept this worked out before the game, ran the bases, hitting the cages. He is available to pinch hit in tonight's game with that leg injury. Also, if everything goes well and he stays as is, he should be in the lineup tomorrow. As they had a scare the other night, but they think there's not going to be a DL situation for Jason Kipnis.
All right.
Well, let's hope not.
Roberto Perez. Swings through it. Roberto getting his first action in the series. Took a little something off. Dots the outside corner with it. 0-2.
You look out in that field and the color of those uniforms, the umpires blend in with them. They look like they've got about, 7 fielders out there trying to catch
extra
it.
defenders.
Yeah, it does. That could be scary as a hitter. Got both lines covered and up the middle.
You mentioned earlier Chris Archer was originally a 5th-round pick of the Tribe back in '06. And then they traded him to the Cubs in the Mark DeRosa deal. Just 2 years after they had drafted him. Up high, and then he came to the Rays from the Cubs along with Brandon Guyer and some other players in exchange for Matt Garza. So Guyer and Archer connected. Out of play by Perez. He's having a good battle here against Archer. Threw that fastball by him, and he reached back for just a little extra giddy up. 98 miles an hour, and that's 3 consecutive strikeouts for the Rays right-hander. That was a pretty good looking cluster. Everything was away primarily in that at bat. Really didn't even show him anything in.
No, there's no need to. He's going to attack away until he shows he can do something with it.
Giovanni Urshela. Last night was 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. And now he's in the hole 0-2.
Yeah, the thing of it is, when you're facing Archer, if you get his fastball, you want to put it in play. You don't want to foul it off. He likes to get to that slider to the right-handers for his strikeout pitch. And he can pile them up.
Right center field, and making the catch is Souza Jr. Indians go 1-2-3. Indians lead it 1-0, middle of the second.
Defense brought to you by Ram behind Clevenger. It's Almonte in left, Zimmer center, Bruce over in right. It'll be Urshela at third, Lindor at short, Ramirez at second, Santana at first, and Perez doing the catching.
Mike Clevenger to face Logan Morrison leading off the second inning. Logan Morrison broke up Carlos Carrasco's no-hit bid last night in the 7th inning with a 2-out single. Right back up the gut, and it's through.
Second straight inning, they've been able to get their leadoff man aboard.
Let's go down to Andre.
Of his thumb. He did have x-rays last night. The x-rays came back negative. He went through batting practice day, went through the cages, and Cash said he's all right, but he wanted to give him a day off, wanted him to feel better. He says really he needs to get off his feet. He says he's played every day for him, basically. Giving him a day. They said basically he should be back in the lineup tomorrow, even though he's got a nice little bruise on his thumb. Yeah.
I'm sure he does, as hard as that ball was hit.
Now, Andre's mic was clipped there at the beginning. He was talking about Evan Longoria. In case you weren't aware, that was the guy that not only did he hit that ball off the thumb, but remember in the same inning he got another ball hit right at him. He took that one off the chest.
The hot corner was very hot last night for him, and he's an excellent third baseman.
Brad Miller. Fastball strike to the outside corner.
Good pitch right on the outside edge. Millers wants to check back with the umpire and make sure it had the corner.
Hitless in the series, 0 for 5, has drawn a couple of walks. And that's kind of his season in a nutshell. Hasn't hit much, but he's been able to get on base. via the walk, or whatever means. Too high with a fastball. It's 2-2.
Well, he's sitting in the middle part of that lineup is Miller, and you know you're going to have to hit if you're hitting in that spot and drive in some runs. Last year, what do you have, 30 home runs?
Off the plate, full count. Yeah, you can almost see Kevin Cash is thinking when you take Longoria out of the lineup, you just push a bunch of people up.
Yeah.
Everybody goes up a spot.
Well, yeah, but that's what happens when you miss a guy out of the middle part of your lineup.
Threw it by him, gets the strikeout, number 2. 1 down on the inning.
Comes back on a full count, makes a very good pitch right there. He challenged him with the fastball. He wasn't going to mess around, and Miller comes up empty. He just, there it is, hit it. That had a good part of the plate. But that's what you don't want to see him walk. You want to see him pitch from in front. When Clevenger's had his good games and when he's been on his streaks, it's when he can, boy, he can locate the fastball down. He's aggressive to hitters, and he's pitching from in front of the count.
Wilson Ramos fouls the first pitch back out of play.
And Clevenger this year on the road, he has made, this is start number 9, but he's 4-2 and an ERA of 3.10. So he's pitched very well on the road. Indian starters, they've been rolling. They had their 10th shutout last night, which leads the American League in shutouts.
Fastball strike.
And we were talking about it. That was their 8th shutout on the road this year out of their 10. So you got to go back to 1976 when they were wearing these red jerseys. They had 9 shutouts on the road in a single season.
It's one of those stats that's hard to figure. 0-2. Swung on and missed. He got in the chase. Ramos goes down swinging, 2 away. You know, sometimes you wonder, why does a team play better on the road than they do at home?
Yeah, well, in the first half of the year, that's the reason why. The pitching was there. They've pitched better on the road than they have. They've given up a lot less home runs on the road than they have at home this year, and that's why their record was better. But it's, you know, starting to level out.
Yeah, the Tribe comes into tonight, in fact, 31-27 at home, 30-25 on the road. Trevor Plouffe filling in for Evan Longoria. And takes outside ball 1. Logan Morrison has 1 steal on the year. So really not a threat to run. On the year, batting .209 with 8 homers, 16 driven in. Since coming to the Rays, batting .194. And that's just a tough pitch to hit right there.
Yeah, that's a good slider.
Up and away with a heater, and it's 2-2. That's the teaser pitch that he's had some hitters going after.
Well, he got him to swing at that one slider that was a good pitch earlier in the at-bat, so he got to look at it. And now he says, no, I'm not anymore. I'm not going to chase it.
Alex Smith would be next. Morrison will be off at first. Swung on and missed. Clevenger came right back with the off-speed pitch, and he strikes him out. Punches out 3 in a row here in the second. He's fan 4 on the night. Through 2, it's Cleveland 1, Tampa nothing.
Tickets start at just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. The tickets are located in the family deck at Progressive Field, home to the expanded kids clubhouse. The tickets are only available at Indians.com/kids tickets.
Francisco Lindor leading off this third inning for the Tribe. Indians up 1-0. Swung on and missed right over the top of the breaking ball. The other thing that I like they've done here tonight, they've tried to retrofit the scoreboard as best they can.
Yeah.
And if you look out there and you see where Frankie Lindor's face is, it gives it a little bit of that old time feel.
Yeah, not the high definition television that you're watching.
There's a ground ball to first. It gets by Duda. Down into the right field corner it goes. Souza fires it back in.
Well, Frankie did a wonderful job keeping his hands back there. That's a 25 consecutive reaching safely. This is a double to lead off the third inning. Watch his hands. He's fooled. It's a changeup, and I mean a good one that's down. It's a ball. But this is where Frankie last year, it seemed like every time he'd go after a pitch like that, he would end up getting a base hit. Well, he gets this one past Duda at first base. And for Lindor, that'll be his 33rd double.
Matt, you said you like the throwbacks up here on the video board. Well, the players have gone nuts about it to the point that I've been asked 3 times to take pictures of certain players. I won't tell you why, but the jokes are running because they like how they look or how they don't look on certain guys as well.
I got you covered. Yeah, right. They're not too pleasing, are they?
Butted up in the air, and that's going to go actually in front of the dugout harmlessly. I'm not afraid to admit it. I loved it when I was a kid. Go to the scoreboard. I loved all the stuff they did on the old scoreboard. The goofy things they put out. I remember when Bobby Bonds played with the Tribe. He hit a home run, and I always remember bonds away.
Yeah.
It was the.
Well, there you go. They're flashing back to some of them. And I know, Andre, they don't think they look good. That's why they want the pictures. You might be able to make some money off them if you take a few.
Zimmer not bunting this time, takes its low, 1-1. Is it your feeling Zimmer was trying to bunt on his own there?
Oh yeah, he was just trying to get him over to third base is what he's trying to do. He struck out the first time, so he gave it a shot. Well, you know, when he gets a little more experience, go ahead and pull the ball. There, and that's what happens. You see, the pitcher comes back and combats that. So he says, okay, I'll throw you a changeup if you're going to get geared up and turn up for my fastball. So now he's got Zimmer sitting where he doesn't know what to expect, a fastball, a slider, or a changeup. Now when you get to 2 strikes, you don't worry about it. You just try to put the ball in play.
Almost chased after it, but he did not go.
I was going to say, Frankie's got to be heads up on second with that slider in the dirt because he's going for a strikeout right now.
You know, you always say too in these situations, the hitter, you're just trying to put the ball in play, and should Zimmer get a pitch away with that shift on, there's nobody really on the left side of the infield. See Trevor Plouffe, he's got to stay close to third.
They'll probably stay in on him and up.
He pulls it.
Got
Gets
it down.
the runner over to third.
That's a good job. He got it down. And he was able to pull it to first base.
Crooked C's on the Indians.
Now,
hats came around.
We've heard a lot of compliments, right? They like it.
Oh, yeah.
People like the crooked C's.
Yes. You know, look, it was funny
The
because
red pants you can have. I don't like the red pants. I like the white pants better.
We had this conversation before the game with Indians equipment manager Tony Amato, talking about the throwbacks. And okay, he made a valid point. It wasn't exactly the greatest era of Indians baseball. But I think the thing that people love about them is that anybody that's, 60 or younger, it takes them back to their childhood. You know, when they kind of maybe first fell in love with Indians baseball, puts them back in a happy place, and I think that's why people love seeing these uniforms.
Yeah, the throwback days.
Popped up back out of play.
Well, they had another one earlier this year in Chicago, and the Indians wore the 1920 uniforms, and I liked those too. I really did.
I love those.
That they wore in that series. And the Chicago uniforms, they were cool because all their players, as you mentioned, wore the socks and showed you the stirrups like you had.
1-1 foul back out of play.
Just a different era, different generation. These kids, I think they love dressing up into it now. It's something that I know they'd hate to wear on a daily basis.
Chris Sale didn't appreciate it that one day in Chicago, remember?
No, he took the knife or the scissors to him.
I'm surprised like Chet Lemon didn't do that back in the 70s when they had to wear those goofy uniforms with the lapels.
Oh, the lapels, the shorts.
Those were hideous.
Well,
the 1-2 down on the dirt.
Yeah, good take.
Ramirez trying to drive home Frankie from third. Rays have the infield in.
This is the game now where Archer's thinking, what I got to throw him. He laid off that slider in the dirt. Going back in there again. Sure did.
And he strikes him out. Boy, is that a big K for Archer. His 5th, and there are 2 down. Not an easy guy normally to strike out.
Exactly. It's a tough guy to strike out, and this is a good pitch. And Archer, this is what he's got in his game right here. He needs a strikeout. He can reach back and get it. That's a slider away. He didn't chase the one in the dirt before, but he threw this one for a strike and made an excellent pitch.
Now Edwin. Edwin singled to the third, his first time up. Plouffe got to it, stopped it deep behind the bag, but he was going into foul territory and he couldn't get enough on the throw. Challenged him, and a good fastball. Able to get it by him.
Well,
0-2.
you locate it in there, and it is a good fastball. It's tough to get the barrel head of the bat on a 96. It's on the inside part of the plate.
And the 0-2 is in the dirt. Gets away. Here comes Lindor. Here's a throw, and he is safe. And oh, I hope he's all right.
Yeah,
Man, that was a tough collision.
His head hit Archer, I know, but it was a great jump by Lindor. Let's see if he's okay.
He says he's all right.
That was great hustle.
2-0 Cleveland.
Got a good lead, and he saw the ball get away. He's got to be a little woozy. Let's see where he hits it. Ramos comes out, and here comes Archer. Boy, I don't know why. Well, he got the hand in.
He hesitated ever so slightly, and then he put on the Jets. Looked like the elbow might have caught him in the head. There was the little stumble. And
maybe an elbow.
Yeah. So the wild pitch gives the Indians their second run of the ball game. And if you're Chris Archer, you got to be just kicking yourself. You get the strikeout on Ramirez, and you think, okay, now if I can just get the third out here, I'm out of this inning without any trouble. And then you end up shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, he sure did.
And now a base hit up the middle by Edwin. Keeps the inning alive. And Edwin is now 2 for 2 on the night. Great clip of the game from last night. Jay Bruce in his first start in an Indians uniform. Bang. Base hit into right field. And then he had another line drive single to center. A couple of hits, scored a run. And Arch looked like he fit right in.
Yeah, he sure did. Look comfortable in that lineup. It's always nice when you can get that first hit out of the way. He was given a gift double in his first at bat here to drive in hit a run, where Plouffe was running with his back to the infield, and Dickerson out in left field really just quit coming on the ball, and it fell in.
That'll even the count. Jay Bruce with the Mets this year hit 29 homers, drove in 75 runs. The Indians acquired him late Wednesday night, just after the team arrived here in St. Petersburg, Florida. And Jay quickly gathered his stuff, got on the next available plane, and he was here just before the start of Thursday night's game. Got in as a pinch hitter late, made his first start last night, back in the lineup again here today. The 2-1 pitch is in there for a strike. And Tito said, look, obviously right now with the injury situation, he has to play every day, but even when they get everybody out, he's going to play.
Oh,
not like it's not like when Brantley and Chisnell and everybody are back healthy. You're not just going to sit this guy on the bench. You're going to have to figure out how to work them all in there.
Oh, that'll be a good surprise for Tito.
That'll be a good problem to have, as they say.
Absolutely. That's
really,
his job. He's paid to figure that out.
That was a really tough pitch to lay off, and Jay did, and it was just off the corner. So you can tell that despite the power numbers, he's not just a wild free swinger either. He's got a pretty good eye. He's mad at himself. Chased one up high and strikes out to end the inning. But the wild pitch and the daring dash by Lindor gives the Indians a 2-0 lead. stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. The Ray Tank, right center field. Malik Smith will lead off for the Rays here in the third. He is 3 for 7 in this series. We saw Kevin Kiermaier taking some batting practice here. I'm sure they can't wait to get him back.
Yeah, he's a great defensive player, and he certainly helps him out offensively. He still has to go out about a week rehab, doesn't he? Because he missed quite a bit of time.
Bunts it, and it's foul. Good idea by Smith when you've got his kind of speed.
Yeah, well, he's tried a bunt a day. In game one of this series, there was a couple of squeeze plays that Kevin Cash put on back-to-back pitches, and they ended up lucking out. The Indians couldn't make the plays, but he tried to bunt last night. It's all part of his game plan.
Yeah, Kiermaier, by the way, Arch, has been on the DL since June 9th.
Okay. So it's 2 months.
2 months he's
yes.
missed. He's going to need a little time to get.
Oh, absolutely. You
Ready
think
to
you
go?
miss 2 months, you got to go down there for about a week, I would think.
I think so. And a strike called. It's 1-2. To center, and Bradley Zimmer makes the catch for out number 1. Speaking of injuries and players on the comeback trail, let's go down to Andre.
Yes, as you guys talk about Kevin Kiermaier, I was just thinking about Lonnie Chisenhall, who's running the bases currently down in Akron. Then he should play or DH tomorrow. Monday's an off day for Akron. Then he'll try to play Tuesday as well. Now, what they're going to do with Chiz, you were talking in the last inning about Jay Bruce and him being here. He's going to play. Chiz will play in left field a little bit. He's going to play in center field a little bit. He's even going to play first and third when he's down on his rehab assignments, guys.
Interesting.
The reason behind all of this is when he came back, and this is somewhat his idea, he's willing to play wherever. He understands they have another outfielder. He said, just put me where you need me. So he's going to go everywhere they need him. Also, on the 21st, his wife Meredith is supposed to have their child. So look for him to probably come back after those 3 days, most likely, because it's going to take some time to get him back in the rhythm.
All right. Well, I love that attitude. You know, instead of saying, well, hey, I have to play here or there, hey, play me where you need me. And
well,
you know what, Rick? That's the one thing that we've always talked about with regards to Lonnie, and that is athletically on the defensive side of this game, he's been able to play wherever they put him. I mean, he was fine at third. He really transitioned well to right field. I'm sure he can handle first base if needed.
Well, yeah, you're talking temporary, some time. You can play a game or two there. That's the way of the player nowadays.
I will say this.
The more positions you can play, the more valuable you're going to be to your team.
I remember asking him about playing left field and right field, and he said it is, for him, for a guy who hasn't been out there a lot, he goes, in spring training, it was different. It was weird.
It's a different look.
Getting used to the different spin and the way it's coming off the bat.
He hasn't played any reps out there. And, you know, but that surprised me in its own right, because he was a third baseman. So he should be used to seeing the ball coming off the bat at third base, and left field will be the exact same. But he feels more comfortable in right field. But it won't take him long to get used to left.
Yeah.
He's a good athlete. He can play it.
And he was having a phenomenal year. When you talk about RBI production. Clevenger strikes out Corey Dickerson. That's his 5th K tonight. And now Clev has set down 6 straight. My man's got his disco shoes on.
He dropped his rake and quit raking the infield, and he put on a show.
So do you think he's a grounds crew member that just has incredible dance ability, or an imposter?
I'm going with imposter.
Okay. They just found a guy that could dance and said, here, take this rake out there.
Yeah, right. Go out and do your thing and run off the field when you're done.
Carlos Santana leading off, takes ball 1.
I prefer the freeze. That guy looked like he hurt himself a couple times, in my opinion. Because that's what the freeze does down in Atlanta. He's a grounds crew guy.
Yeah, that's true.
But does he dance too?
I don't think. No, he just runs, baby.
Okay. I thought there was a part of his act I hadn't seen yet or something.
I'll have to check it out. I'll get on YouTube and see what else the freeze got going.
Carlos Santana went down swinging to end the first inning. Sends a high drive, deep center. Back is Smith, and he pulls it in just shy of the warning track for out number 1. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. Get a load of all these names. Dustin Pedroia on the DL for the Red Sox. They had tried to not put him on the DL, but it got to the point where they had to shut him down. Wilson Contreras with the hamstring, blew that out going down the line. Tanaka and Sabathia, both on the DL now.
Big lefty out in Seattle, and they're trying to still fight for a playoff spot. So that's their number 1 pitcher. And isn't King Felix back on the DL as well?
Here's Abraham Almonte. Fouls it straight back. Too high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Isn't it amazing that in the AL West, the Astros have lost 4 in a row, Angels have won 4 straight, and they're still 13 out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of divisions that they're all wrapped up.
Dodgers are up 16 on the Rockies in the NL West.
Washington has a 14.5 game lead.
Slow tapper back to the mound. Archer takes his time and almost turned that into a disaster. But that's out number 2.
It's amazing how pitchers they have a tough time.
It's that in-between throw. You know, they're used to rearing back and firing with all their might.
Or they run over there and they'll underhand it to toss it. It's just a weird flip. You just got to, like you're playing darts. He took something off of it. He was just afraid to launch it, and Duda has to change feet on the bag.
2 down for Roberto Perez. Struck out on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball his first time up. He starts him off here with an 88-mile-an-hour breaking
Well,
ball.
remember, everything was away to him, and he forced him. Now he comes up in his second at bat. Then he's going to drop a little breaking ball in there for strike 1, because he threw it by him the last time. There it is. There's your fastball you want to hit.
Low cheddar.
But that's where that first pitch breaking ball, you know, puts a little different thought in your mind.
Out of play. Almost fell down. You really wanted to get that pitch away. And a 1-2. And that fastball up, and Perez did well just to get to that pitch. Usually that high heater is tailor-made to swing right through it.
Yeah, well, he's going to be so tardy that he just There it was. He was just going to get a piece of it. That's all you have to do to stay alive.
Took a little something off and strikes him out. Number 7 for Archer. The Indians go in order. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Cleveland. Our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Last night, Carlos Carrasco flirted with a no-hitter. 4-0 in his career here with a 1.11 ERA. And last night, Rick, according to the Indians PR staff, 4th time in their last 8 games that a Cleveland starting pitcher has taken a no-hitter into the 6th inning here.
And yes, we talked about it a little bit last night.
That's one more than their previous 219 games at Progressive Field.
Wow. That's, they all like pitching here, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, their pitchers have been on a roll when you think about it. The starters have held opponents to 1 or 0 runs in 7 of the last 8 games. You know, for a 1.71 ERA. But the Indians are just 4-4 in those 8 games. So it goes to show you, offensively they've struggled, but their starters have been outstanding. And here's Clevenger going into the bottom of the 4th. He's allowed 2 hits, 2 leadoff singles.
Pulls it foul.
And with those, for the Indians, those guys that scored, that they stopped their string of 6 consecutive games where they've scored just once
In one inning.
in
right.
one inning.
Yeah.
So with the drop fly ball or the lost fly ball and then the wild pitch, it's sort of weird how they've scored, but
Right back to Clevenger. And Mike with a good flip to Santana for out number 1.
now let's look at Mike Clevenger's delivery in slow motion. There's the heater, a fastball right there. He gets the strikeout. That was a full count. Then you're going to see a couple of sliders. Very good location. That one's going away, and here it comes. You see when that ball starts just about on the inside part of the plate to the right-hander, it's going to end up away. So that's about how much it breaks, is about 18 inches.
Steven Souza Jr. steps in. And Clevenger with a first pitch slider. Get the over. 0-1. Oh, he could have thrown that pitch.
Yeah, he wasn't going to give it. He didn't
Yeah.
give him time out. Phil Cuzzy did not raise his hand. You're right. Clevenger could have continued.
0-2. Our man Mike Pocta really dug deep into the history books. You know, that streak you were talking about where the Indians had gone 6 consecutive games only scoring in 1 inning.
Right.
Last time it happened was 1954. And Mike went all the way back to 1909. And because when you get beyond a certain year, you have to go literally box score by box score. All the way back to 1909. Never more than 6.
Mike, would you get in a time machine or something?
A little low, 2-2. No, but if there's anything you want to know about 1911 or 1912, he's your guy.
Feel free.
Yeah.
I'll ask Mr. Sherman.
Here's 2-2. Swung out and missed. Clevenger has his 6th strikeout tonight. 2 down in the inning.
Coming back with another good breaking ball and expanding the zone of Souza Jr. to get him to swing and miss. And he hasn't looked good in his 2 plate appearances. He's gone down both times. So that's 2 outs now in the 4th.
And a breaking ball in there for a strike. Logan Morrison had a leadoff single in that 2nd inning. It's the last man to reach for Tampa. Fastball, got him looking. Number 7 for Mike Clevenger. He has retired 9 in a row. Is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud. 2-0, the Indians lead it. As we go to the 5th inning, lovely St. Pete Beach. And here, Tropicana Field, home of the Rays, where the Indians have scratched out a couple of runs off a tough customer in Chris Archer. A 2-out bloop single to left by Jay Bruce. Got the first run home in the 1st inning with 2. All that happened with 2 outs. And then in the 3rd, a wild pitch. Francisco Lindor able to come home from 3rd. That's been it.
Yeah, it's been a quiet game.
Giovanni Urshela fly to right his only time up. Fastball in there to even the count 2-2. Right back at him, and it nails Archer. He scrambles to get back to his feet, but by that time Urshela is safe on an infield single. He appears to be okay, but boy, initially that didn't look good.
Don't know if it caught him in the glove. He could not get out of the way of it. He was trying to come back and make the play, but with his momentum carrying him to first base, you're going to see. I think it got him in the glove, and then he knocked it down.
I think you're right, yeah.
And he was falling, that way.
That's why he seems to be fine.
Urshela did a nice job staying on that pitch, and he's fine. Just a little shocked when you see one coming back like that. It's just self-preservation. You try and knock it down, and he did. So the second time tonight the Indians have their leadoff man aboard.
5th hit of the game. And now Lindor, who doubled down the right field line in the 3rd. Frankie pulled the ball, and Duda in at first base tonight was unable to get to it. Tried a diving stop, came off empty. Logan Morrison has played first base the first 2 games, but now Morrison the DH and Duda getting playing time at first base. Frankie's reached in 25 straight. Double play ball. There's 1 and 2. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Here it is. If you missed it, Jay Bruce just lifted a pop-up, but they lost it. And miscommunication allowed the first run of the game to score. Then in the 3rd, the wild pitch. Lindor comes racing home. Collision. Everybody A-OK, and it's a 2-0 Cleveland lead. All because Mike Clevenger has a 2-hit shutout through 4 and has struck out 7. He's retired 9 Tampa hitters in a row. Bradley Zimmer looks at a ball in the dirt, and he is 0 for 2 on the night. Out of play. Two balls and a strike. Now the 0-2. Check the swing, followed it back. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Archer has struck out 6. Halfway through, the Indians lead it 2-0. Thank you, Al. There's a swing and a miss by Brad Miller as he leads off the home half of the 5th. Miller struck out in the 2nd inning. High fastball, 1-1. Diving attempt by Santana, but he couldn't get it. That'll go to the wall for a double. That snaps a string of 9 straight retired by Clevenger, and the Rays have their leadoff man in scoring position.
Okay, the 3rd time tonight there was a slider down, and Miller was able to stay with it and kept that bat through the hitting area. Gets it by Santana, who's diving to his right. So Miller will get his 9th double. Only the 3rd hit now. All 3 hits have led off an inning. The 1st, the 2nd, and now the 5th.
Here is Wilson Ramos. Takes outside. Wilson Ramos previously played for the Washington Nationals, and there was a lot of discussion about him staying in Washington even after the knee injury he suffered last September. But into the offseason, they got into December, and they ended up making a trade for Derek Norris. So Derek Norris ends up going to Washington, but he was so bad in spring training that the Nationals released him midway through March, and then he signed with Tampa, where Wilson Ramos had signed already as a free agent.
Well, that's good. Keep a guy at second base. You flip it in and you get your first out.
T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. Giancarlo Stanton, first player to 40 home runs this year.
Yeah, he has been on fire. How about 19 homers in your last 31 games?
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive. And he plays in a ballpark that's not easy to hit home runs. Made a little adjustment in his stance. And boy, is it paying dividends for him.
Trevor Plouffe struck out his only time up. Looks at the ball in the dirt. Fastball in off the plate. Now the 2-0. And he dots the outside corner.
Yes,
well-placed fastball right there.
Yeah, he has Plouffe shaking his head there. But you get a 2-0 pitch. If you can make that pitch right there, that's automatic. Great pitch.
Runner goes. Throw to third. They got him. What in the world is Brad Miller doing there?
I think trying to make something happen, and he might have figured out that, all right, I think I've got him timed pretty good, but Perez steps up and he took his time and fires a seed. He had a pretty good jump, but there you'll see the tag, Urshela right there. You get him out of scoring position. Well done.
Kevin Cash taking a look, see if they want to challenge. They haven't decided yet.
I don't think so.
No. 2 down.
Yeah, that's one where he felt on his own, if you get that jump, that you can go ahead. But
3-1 pitch now. And it's just a bit outside.
First walk by Clevenger, and here you go. Here comes the throw. It's right there. Urshela gets it. You just drop the tag down on him. And there it was. It was on the elbow before that hand got to the bag.
There is the perfect illustration of the bang bang play.
Yeah, it's bang. It was close. I mean, closer than what you thought. I mean, from the naked eye. But boy, when you're in scoring position, you haven't scored a lot of runs. You do not want to get thrown out on the bases. But I think it was the element of surprise there.
Shoots it to third, and it kicks off of Urshela, and the Rays now catch a break. Urshela has been sure-handed at the hot corner. That time he couldn't come up with it.
I want to take another look at it. Sometimes when that left-hander slaps it that way, it's not an easy play. I didn't really see if it was a short hop or where it hit. I saw it deflect, and hard to tell, but I'm sure that's going to be a base hit. Yeah, it was a one hop, and it's almost like he went down to his knees. He was inside third base bag.
So 2 on, 2 out, and Adeiny Echeverria to the plate.
This is the first time that they've had 2 men aboard in an inning. So how's that caught stealing looking about now?
Ooh. Chased it. It's 0-2. Figured if he swung at it the last time, he might do it again, but
really nice pick there by Perez.
Now a 1-2, high fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, this is the guy you want right here. You want Echeverria. You don't want Dickerson, who's in the on-deck circle. You have him down 0-2, get after him.
Came back with the slider, but once again, no chase from Echeverria, so he has really pitched him too carefully, I think, in this at-bat after he got ahead of him. Runners go. 3-2 pitch fouled back.
Yeah, I threw him a slider there. That one stayed up a little bit. Whatever, this is the guy you want. You don't want to walk him.
Again, the runners are off. And the 3-2. Again, it's fouled back. Up till now, Clevenger has been dynamite. He retired 9 in a row before the inning began with a leadoff hit. And the 3-2 is popped up foul again, out of play.
Yeah, fouled off a good pitch there. That was a good slider, but he was able to get a piece of it.
First long inning. This has been an 8-pitch at bat already for Echeverria. Runners go. Another foul back.
He has to throw him a strike. He's doing that, and Echeverria is just following him off, and he's tiring him out a little bit. This is a fastball away, good location, everything. But you see, not trying to do too much, just stay on it. He keeps following him back. What's that, 4 straight fouls?
Runners take off on the 3-2 pitch, and another foul back out of play.
These are the kind of at-bats that wear a pitcher down. You hope he gets this guy, because we've seen it in the past where he ends up reaching. This could really wear him down.
The 11th pitch of the at-bat for Adeiny Echeverria. Finally puts one in play. Santana in foul ground, makes the catch. Clevenger survives. The Rays strand a pair. And after 5 innings of play, it's Cleveland 2, Tampa nothing.
Just a Tribe Rewards, and today's Tribe Rewards code is Tomlin. Indians.com for complete details.
Well, the pitchers are busy once again. If you guys can figure this out, or do I need to turn it around so you can see the number?
Looks like Mr. T.
Santana.
No, this is Carlos Santana all the way. Got the chain and everything. It does look like Mr. T a little bit, but I don't think these guys even know who Mr. T is.
No, I bet they don't.
So this is definitely Carlos Santana,
A-team.
everybody.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. I think the catchers are coming up next and some of the bullpen guys, but they've told me the bullpen guys might be hard. They all look alike.
Andre, who had to sacrifice their chain for that?
I didn't ask. I'll find out.
Probably Carlos. They probably went to Santana's locker.
He won't even know what this means.
That's right.
Jose Ramirez leading off the 6th inning with Cleveland on top 2-0. Jose walked and scored in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd. Two really interesting at bats when you think back. 2 outs, nobody on base in the 1st, and he walked Ramirez. And sometimes that's just a harmless 2-out walk with nobody on base. But then Edwin Encarnacion sharply singled to 3rd. Ramirez went all the way to 3rd base on the play. And then the following hitter, Jay Bruce, lifted a fly ball to left at the outfielder. Dickerson just, I don't know what happened to him, but Plouffe couldn't find it in the ceiling, and it just dropped in shallow left field. And Ramirez ended up scoring the 1st run of the game. Then his next at bat in the 3rd inning, he got a runner at 3rd with 1 out. And he strikes out as he bloops this one down the line. Fair. Takes a turn. He's going for 2. The throw is not in time, and he hangs onto the bag for a leadoff double.
I'm going to tell you something. That is just flat out good hustle by Ramirez. He challenged Dickerson, and he beat the throw. Even though he made him make a good throw, he knew it was going to bloop, and it was going to be fair. And he just kept right on going. Look at the spin on the carpet. So he throws it on the run. He couldn't get enough on that throw, even though it was accurate. And he beats the throw easy into second base. That's great hustle. That's why this guy is up in the league leaders in doubles. So Ramirez gets his 36th. Beautiful job of getting out of the batter's box.
Now Edwin Encarnacion, who's 2 for 2 on the night. I was going to say, you know, Ramirez in that next at bat in the 3rd inning with Lindor at 3rd base and 1 out, he ends up striking out. Rare for him to strike out, and you're thinking, oh man, they just missed an opportunity to get that run home, and then Frankie ends up scoring on a wild pitch.
Yeah, that is scary. And then Encarnacion got his 2nd hit
after the wild pitch.
Yeah.
Yep. 3 on the left side of the infield for the Rays. And Edwin swings over the top.
Yeah, and although you look at Archer and you think that slider is a pitch he can bounce, that's his 12th wild pitch. So you always, as a base runner, know, all right, this guy can bounce him. You have to be ready at all times, and he was. It was a very close play at home plate.
A low fastball, and it's 2-1.
Fast Eddie had to beat that first one out on the infield.
Kind of standing ovation from his
yes,
dugout.
He did. Plouffe at 3rd had to try and bounce it on that turf over there, but not before he could reach first base. And there's Adrian Beltre. Imitation right there, going down to 1 knee. Watch this. Boom. He tried to hit the top of the dome.
Just now getting some action in the Tampa bullpen. Archer closing in on 100. Oh, that was 96, but it was there. And Edwin unable to square it up.
Well, here's one. He gets one to hit, and he doesn't. He fouls it off. Those are ones you want to hit there. That was right down the middle.
That ball might have put a hole in the roof. Takes something off, but it's off the plate, and Edwin able to lay off. Full count. Sergio Romo getting loose. Just really picked up the ball. Edwin sends a high drive deep to center. Back is Malik Smith and makes the catch in the middle of the warning track. Ramirez will tag and go to third, 1 down. Man, oh man, he hit it a ton, but it just came up short.
Well, Jay Bruce in the first inning popped one up, and as Plouffe was going back, he goes back, and Dickerson was looking for him to make the play. To me, that's the outfielder's mistake. You've got to go out there and try and help your infielders out. They give them a run right there. That's a tough play for the third baseman. As a left fielder, you've got more of an opportunity to catch that ball as the third baseman does.
Well, again, the Rays bring the infield in, and Jay Bruce is at the plate. If I'm the first baseman, I'm not feeling real good right now.
Yeah, not much you can do.
Because this guy can turn on a ball and drill it hard. Ramirez at third. Again, he'll be looking for that ball in the dirt, as Arch told you. A dozen wild pitches this year for Archer. Nice stab by Ramos, 1-1. Well, 50%. He's right on the major league average.
Well, this is a big one because it could extend that lead to 3. Hasn't counted in his favor. Changeup. 2-1 count. And I'll tell you what, the changeup was down in the strike zone. You know, it's a good location.
But when you're geared for that 96, 97.
Well, he knows it's a fastball count, and he can be a little more selective in that situation, but you back off instead of gear it up.
Now the 2-2. Line into right field, a base hit. Bruce drives home Ramirez. 3-0 Cleveland. And Jay Bruce has a multi-RBI game here tonight.
Did you see the reaction of
oh yeah,
Archer? He threw him a slider, and I think it stayed up a little too much. He wanted it down a little more. Watch Archer react. That ball stayed up. Please catch it. He can't believe it. He knows he made a mistake, and it just cost him a run. But that's the first legitimate run the Indians have had there. So Bruce gets his second hit, his second ribby, and it makes it a 3-0 ball game.
Carlos Santana's 0 for 2. Wait, did he call a strike or not? Yeah, he called that a strike. It was weird because Chris Archer was pointing, can I appeal? And Phil Cuzzy said, it's a strike. I signaled strike. So
yeah.
You can't get 2.
Look at it. They're going to get up there. That's skying.
He could do that box jump thing. You ever see him guys do that in the gym?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Whew. Now 1-1. Thought maybe Kevin Cash would go get him after that hit by Bruce, but he's sticking with his right-hander.
Yeah, he'll give him a chance to get out of this inning.
Archer wanted that call, didn't get it. Chris is not afraid to show his emotions on the mound.
That's a good pitch. I can see why. I can see why he's upset. It looked like it had the corner to me.
He's gone as many as 116 pitches in the game this year.
Well, you see, again, that's that streak that he shoots for 16. 15 straight games of at least 6 innings pitched. The last time he did not go 6 is when he faced the Indians back in Cleveland. And he's on the verge of getting out of there before 6 today, too, with just 1 out.
By my count, Arch, in his 24 previous starts, only 1 time did he not make at least 100 pitches. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that came back against Baltimore on June 23rd.
And he still made 92 and went 6 innings in that game. Wasn't a great game for him.
Well, that's one of those divisional games where they know you know, a little bit better than the rest of the other 2 divisions do. He had a 24-pitch first inning, a 24-pitch third, and it's getting up here now in the 6th. So he's at the end of the line. You know that. There's his average pitches per start is 106. Santana could knock him out of here.
He takes a walk.
Or walk him out of here.
Let's see what Kevin Cash wants to do, and that is going to be it.
Yeah, he's got to go get him. This is a guy that plays, you know, he goes out there every 5 days, and for whatever reason, he just can't beat the Indians.
Yeah, it's the only American League team he's never beaten.
He's 0-6, and he's got a chance to be 0-7. He can't win it. He can only lose it.
So he's out. Sergio Romo's coming on. The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made by Kevin Cash, and we'll be right back. Archer sits in the Tampa dugout. It's not like he pitched terribly tonight.
No, he didn't. You're right.
Struck out 8, walked a couple.
Had a couple of tough breaks.
Sergio Romo, his combined numbers this year between the Dodgers and Tampa. Not great, but this guy, veteran.
Yeah, he's been with all 3 San Francisco World Series teams. 10, 12, and 14.
He knows the ropes, as they say.
Yeah, he's a veteran. He's tough on right-handers. Left-handers this year hitting .310 off him since he's been over here. 9 for 29. Starts him off with a changeup.
Almonte figuring out reliever, he's going to try first pitch fastball, get me over something. He was aggressive, but the bottom fell out of it. Jay Bruce, the runner at second base. Carlos Santana at first. And Almonte with a liner toward right field. It'll be caught by Souza, and the runners have to hold 2 down. First game of the preseason is over. Jim Donovan, Tony Grossi, Matt Wilhelm will break down the victory over the Saints. Jim will sit down with rookie quarterback Deshaun Kaiser. Training camp daily tonight at 11 on Sports Channel Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Roberto Perez is 0 for 2 tonight. And with 2 on and 2 down, he'll face Romo. Swing and a miss.
Well, this is where he's tough. That slider to the right-handers. You're going to have to stay back and try and use the whole field with this guy.
It's an opportunity, really, for Roberto Perez to deliver a back-breaking type of blow. Maybe the problem for Perez is he hasn't had a chance to bat with anybody on base tonight.
No, this is his specialty spot. There's 2 outs.
Yeah.
He likes it with runners in scoring position that way.
.275 hitter this year with runners in scoring position. And then when you add the 2-out factor to that equation, it seems like he's even better. Pitch has him crossed up here in this at bat. That's the second time Romo's been able to get him to really swing through this.
Well, it gives you a little sidearm view of it, and it doesn't get there. And you really, I mean, you see it, it's coming out. You think it's going to be harder than what it is. And, it's not there. It doesn't get there, and it's going away from you.
Now the 1-2. Oh, he rings him up. It was low, maybe scraped the bottom of the zone, and ends the inning. But Jay Bruce has driven home 2 runs for the Tribe tonight, and they now lead it 3-0. Finale. Corey Kluber getting a little side work in here tonight.
Out in the bullpen getting a little extra work.
He'll be going up against Austin Pruitt. Our coverage begins with Indians Live at 12:30. First pitch at 1 o'clock right here on Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Kluber has been on an incredible roll.
Yes, he has. Going against Austin Pruitt. Pretty interesting about that Austin Pruitt. He has pitched against, let me think, in his last 4 starts. Tanaka with New York, Keuchel against Houston, Sale, and tomorrow's going to be Kluber.
It's 4 straight aces.
Yeah, that's what he's got. He's got 4 number 1s in a row. He beat Keuchel, he lost to Sale, and he lost to Tanaka.
That's the 4 of a kind you don't want.
Yeah, that's a 4 of a kind. That's a losing hand.
That's a losing hand normally. Yes.
Yeah, it sure is. But you go out there. That's if you want to.
But he's also got to
be. You got to beat him.
You figure he's the guy they score for because his ERA's over 5, and yet he has 6 wins and only 3 losses.
Well, the key is you have to put zeros on the board and let your offense come in. And right now, the offense for the Rays is, in the last week or 2 weeks, has been tough.
Outside, 1-2.
They've been shut out 4 out of the last 7 games. And as a manager, as you said, we said in game 1, what are you going to do? You have to score to win, and if you don't.
And I think that's what Kevin Cash has tried to do without sounding the panic alarm. He's just said, look, it's simple. If we have to score some runs, you can talk about all the little things, but if you don't score, you can't win.
You know, and the last time we faced them when they were in Cleveland in May, of course they were a pretty hot team. They were hitting a long ball. They hit 10 homers in that series there, but this is a team when they don't hit the home runs, how do you manufacture runs? And that's something right now that they're having a tough time doing. And especially now Longoria, he was out tonight because he had a bruised thumb because of last night's ball game. And there's a pretty good chance he'll be in there tomorrow, as Andre said earlier.
Slapped it to third, but right there's Urshela. Perfect placement of the hot corner defender. Good on Andre.
Made a big, there we are. Well, we made a big deal last night about Carlos Carrasco having family and friends here in St. Pete. Well, Mike Clevenger's going through the same thing. You remember, he's a Florida boy. He's got a lot of family here, a lot of friends here, and was excited to get back on the mound and start. We talked about this in the open. He hadn't made a start since July 31st.
Right.
But he really told me yesterday in the last couple of days, he said because of what he went through last year, he said he's fully ready to deal with anything that's thrown at him this year. He just said last year taught him a lot about himself. And I think the success he had earlier in the year told him that he can come out and compete against anybody, and he believes it right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, our pitchers come into this building and they compete. Yes, he did. Clevenger came back with a changeup to the left-hander. I like that. I like that a lot. A lot of times with pitchers, and I know Corey Kluber, he basically just uses that changeup against left-handers. You go fastball, changeup, and then you get those right-handers, you can go to that slider a lot more.
Little low, 2-2.
Take a look at this pitch on slow motion here. You can see it's a deep grip. I don't think it's a circle change, but you can see it's deep into his 3 fingers, and you saw the rotation on it. That if you miss, that's where you want it, down.
Full count. Swung on and missed. He chased it after all. And that's strikeout number 8 from Mike Clevenger.
Well, Perez came right back and made him throw that change up again. And with Duty, he saw 3 of them. And he swings over the top. All of them down. He thought they were going to be fastballs, so Clevenger comes and gets another strikeout. He's only walked one today. He's allowed 4 hits.
I was just thinking, Jay Bruce is no stranger to the Indians because, facing them in the home and home with Cincinnati every year. But he's got to be standing out there in the outfield going right now, boy, I'm so happy I didn't get traded to a team where I have to face these guys. Clevenger glides through the 6th. He is shutting out Tampa, and the Indians lead it 3-0. Baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By the stylish 2017 Kia Optima. And by Smart Path Forward. Lakeland Community College is your Smart Path Forward. Enroll now. Beautiful night here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Giovanni Urshela to lead off the 7th inning. Takes a strike.
Romo's not messing around. 7 of his 8 pitches have been strikes.
Really spun that one up there.
Yeah, that was a frisbee.
Well, he pulled the string on him again.
Well, great seats remain for the Tribe's only regular season series of the year against the defending AL East champion Boston Red Sox. You can grab a $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio, or a $15 KeyBank Kids ticket online only. Just visit Indians.com for the tickets. After this series tomorrow, we'll head up to Boston and make up our last game with them there. Then we head on to Minnesota and then Kansas City, and then we come home for the Boston series. 4-game series there, so go on out and get some seats.
First pitch strike to Francisco Lindor.
Can't guarantee you they're going to wear the red jerseys or pants, but
Lindor lifts one deep to right. Back is Souza on the track. He leaps up, makes the catch, slams into the wall, and hangs on for out number 2. Terrifically timed play by Steven Souza Jr.
well, there you go. He knew he was getting close. He jumps up because that texture is all the same, whether it's the warning track or the grass. It's just a different color. But this is his home park, so he should know it well.
Nobody more appreciative than pitcher Sergio Romo, who has retired all 4 that he has faced. And now Bradley Zimmer takes low and away ball 1. Sergio Romo is one of those players you mentioned, Rick. He was part of all those Giants championship teams, and he is just one of the most engaging and energetic guys.
Very personable.
I mean, we were walking down the hallway today. He said hello to us like he knew us.
I know it. Hi, guys. Yeah. Yeah, when you're around the game like that, you enjoy playing the game, you have fun doing it. That's what it's all about. He knows he's at the end of the line. You know, he started with the Dodgers, didn't pan out there when, you know, he was trying to get him out for all those years and those rivalries when he was with the Giants.
And I think, in all honesty, you know, he genuinely was appreciative of the fact that Tampa Bay thought he could really come in and help them.
Absolutely.
I mean, you always want to be wanted as a player, but I think he felt like, hey, these guys still think I can do it. It probably pumped him up a little bit.
He's pitched to a high level for a long time.
Look at all those numbers. Man, oh man. 553 games with 279. Zimmer awaits the 1-2. Way outside.
Wow, just a bit outside there.
I don't know what happened with that pitch. Was that
That was just like a little sinker going away. And away, and away.
You see the 3-man shift to the right for the Rays. And 2-2. Got him to go fish. Zimmer strikes out. And the Indians go in order. Stretch time here in Tampa. 3-0 Cleveland.
All right, I got something for you guys. Remember my man was dancing earlier in the ground screw?
Yes.
You see Raymond right there doing his thing? Taking sliders move?
That's the guy.
I've been told.
Good
He's
job.
not
I
a
got
ground
you.
screw guy.
You have unmasked,
I've
the
unmasked
mascot.
Yeah, you know that's what I do. Slider, I love you. Come get me.
I'll tell you what. I told you he wasn't ground crew.
You were good on it. That was a good scouting by you,
I
man.
didn't like the way he held that rake.
Well, we may need some extra security to get Andre out of here tonight.
We'll be
Won't
fine.
be the first time.
I'm with you, pal. I got your back.
Logan Morrison lifts one high in the air.
That's going to be in play.
Urshela, long run over there. He makes the catch.
Nicely done.
Avoiding all the traffic. He went a long way to get that ball. One down.
Yeah, that was up there. And, you know, when you start running, you know that ball comes back a little bit. Now, once again, that's not real dirt that's down there in the bullpen. It's flat ground until you get to those mounds. But he stayed with that one. That's a nice catch. Not easy when you're looking up into that roof. You cannot take your eye off the ball, but he stabbed it right at the last minute. Who's happier than Mike Clevenger, because that's the first out of the inning.
Brad Miller takes a fastball for a strike. Miller doubled to lead off the 5th inning.
Yeah, they want to pitch him up because remember how he hit that double? That ball was down off the ground, so he kept his hands back and kept that bat through the hitting area for a while to get that double.
Swing and a miss, but down 2 at that point in the game. He tried to steal third and was thrown out by Roberto Perez. That's a tough one to explain to your manager.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
As you said, especially when you've gone through a stretch like they have where they've scored 8 runs in their last 7 games.
Right.
That equals, by the way, the fewest runs scored by any major league team over any 7-game stretch this year. Swing and a miss, and down goes Miller. Strikeout number 9 for Clevenger.
Well, good fastball. And he just goes right away with it. That's what you do, elevate the ball to this guy. 9 strikeouts for Mike, just 1 walk today. Still has allowed only 4 hits. So that ties a career high, the 9 strikeouts. Did that against Texas back on June 27th. So that, you know, he hasn't started a game since the 31st of July, so that layoff has done him well. He did pitch an inning in the Yankee series. It wasn't a very good one, but that was the time he got some work.
Wilson Ramos 0 for 2 has struck out, flied out.
He may want to wear the red uniforms again.
I think the fans would enjoy seeing them from time to time.
Last time we wore these, I think, was 2005 back in Cleveland.
The all red.
Yeah, the
Red
all
on
red,
red.
the pants and the tops.
That was the
yes.
first time they brought him back.
Right.
And the thing I'll always remember about that game, as the count goes to 2-2 on Ramos, is Ronnie Belliard letting his hair picked out, and he looked like
Oscar
Gamble.
Yes, he did. I loved it. It brought back memories for me. I didn't think anybody could have the hair that Oscar had back in those days.
2-2. Weekly chop to short. Lindor scoops it up, flips it over. And a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Clevenger, who has set down 7 straight. We go to the 8th, 3-0 Indians. Broadcast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Under the big top here at Tropicana Field, 3-0 Cleveland. And as we head to the 8th, another pitching change for the Rays. Left-hander Jose Alvarado coming on. He's got the 3, 4, and 5 spots due up for the Tribe. Ramirez, Encarnacion, and Jay Bruce.
Yeah, Alvarado pitched an inning in yesterday's ball game, gave up a hit, and he struck out a couple.
Outside, ball 1. Lifted in the air, but it's going to go out of there. Sergio Romo worked an inning and 2/3. Retired all 5 that he faced. Struck out 3. You know, this has been a pretty grueling stretch in terms of the schedule for Tampa. They have been playing nothing but contenders. 17 straight games against 5 opponents, all right there. The Yankees, the Astros, the Brewers, the Red Sox, and now the Indians.
Yeah. Well, this is the time of year where a lot of schedules get grueling.
I mean, the Indians know all too well. They're in the middle of it themselves.
Yes.
But
you're talking, I know what you're talking about, the top of the notch division teams that are coming in. And you better be on your game, and that's how they've been shut down. And they've been shut down by some good teams.
I guess that's where I was kind of ultimately going with this. People are going to wonder what happened to the offense. Well, you're facing a lot of really good pitching. That's why these teams are in contention, because they have good pitching. 3-1. Ramirez jolts one, but it hangs up in center field, and Smith makes an easy catch for out number 1. Big 3 continues as basketball's greatest legends take it to the court in L.A. Rashard Lewis, Stephen Jackson, like Bibby, Al Harrington. Keep the action going in a 3-on-3 battle for the title. Monday night at 8 Eastern on FS1. Edwin Encarnacion is 2 for 3 with singles. During this stretch of games, the Rays lost 3 out of 4 to the Yankees, but then took 3 out of 4 from Houston. Lost 2 out of 3 against Milwaukee, and then got swept in a 2-gamer against Boston. They've split the first 2 of this series, and you've got the rest of this game and tomorrow to wrap up the series, and that ends that stretch of games for Tampa. Now the 0-2 to Edwin. But we also know where the schedule is concerned, you can talk about, well, this is a really tough stretch, but it's not like when this stretch ends, if you're Tampa, you can't say, okay, we're good now the rest of the way, because it doesn't matter. Whoever comes in here is still a major league team, and you still got to saddle up and be ready to go. You take anybody lightly, and you'll be wondering what happened in a hurry.
Yeah. Nobody feels sorry for anybody in this league, I'll tell you that. They have you down. They want you. They want to catch you when you're down.
They take great delight in your misery.
Well, and I'll tell you what. That's the amazing thing about the 162 game schedule in baseball. A lot of this has to do with when you catch certain teams, at what time. You know, there's times when you can catch one of the better teams in all of baseball. If you catch them at the right time, you may play them in a 3-game series. You can beat them 2 out of 3. You can win the series, or you can even sweep them. Or you can catch the worst team in all of baseball. If you catch them at the wrong time, when they're swinging the bat, or some guys are pitching good, they can beat you and you can lose. So you've got to be on top of your game all the time.
Pulled foul. Well, I'll never forget it. Back in, I think it was that 05 season we were just talking about it.
Kansas City.
Remember, late in the 05 season, the Indians were fighting, scratching, clawing to try to get in the playoffs, and it was Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's right. When they came back to Cleveland last week,
and shut them down, and the Indians just couldn't buy a hit. And it was like, that's the team that ended up costing you a potential playoff spot.
Well, and right before we got home, and that sunny day in Kansas City where Grady lost the ball in the sun.
Yeah.
And then we came back to the homestand at Tampa Bay. Just they're saying, how can't you beat Tampa Bay?
Seth McClung, I remember.
Yeah,
pitched a gem against them.
A couple guys.
Well, Edwin has worked the count back to full here.
You're talking about that's when you get into September and people don't care. They have nothing to lose, and they just go out there and relax and have fun.
Alvarado now with the payoff pitch. And he threw it by him with a good fastball, 99 miles an hour. Whew. Take a look at our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Jay Bruce, he'll take it any way you can get him.
Absolutely. That's a gift right there. You get an RBI, you get a double, but his second one was legit. With the infield in, a runner on third base, less than 2 outs, he gets Ramirez home on a nice line drive single. That's what you're looking for.
Speaking of bringing the lumber, Jay has already impressed his teammates in Tito. Tito says he sits in the same exact spot all game long and watches the pitcher, doesn't mess around. And we know how Tito is. He picks up on little things like that.
Yeah.
He says it's exactly the type of guy they need right now. Not only in the lineup, but just how studious he is in paying attention to what a pitcher is doing.
Well, as we all know, nobody's perfect, but I have never heard anybody, and we hear all sorts of bad things about players. Never heard anybody say a bad word about Jay Bruce.
Maybe a couple pitchers that have to pitch to him when he gets hits against them.
Down on the count here, 0-2. In the dirt. So Jay Bruce was down 0-2. Now he's got it back to even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 down, bases empty here in the 8th. Lays off. Good discipline there. That breaking ball was never going to be a strike.
Well, he's telling himself right now, stay back, stay back.
Hard to do when you just
when
watch this guy blowing 99.
I know it. I know it. But when you see that spinner coming up there, that's if you're out on that front foot, you're not going to hit it anyway.
That's where you always say, trust your hands. Stay back, trust your hands.
Yeah, until it gets on your hands.
Here's the payoff, and there was the heater.
That was a good swing. He had a good swing on that heater. You know, after he missed with that breaking ball, he says, okay, he's going to try and heat me up here. He got one and just fouled it off. If that was a little lower, he would have been in good shape.
We'll do it again, 3-2. See if he comes back with it, or if he tries to get him to chase. A little off-speed pitch. Nope, went back to the heater, and he fights it off.
Yeah, he figures he doesn't want to walk him. He wants to go after him. So, you know, that breaking ball, he may not have may be too consistent with that. When you're throwing as hard as he is, you got to challenge him, I think.
Once again, the 3-2. Oh, he rings him up, and I don't think that was a strike. Jay Bruce lets Phil Cuzzy know it. Side is retired in order. Indians still lead it 3-0. I tell you what, by Tampa Bay Rays standards, it's a big crowd tonight. 22,024. Nice. Remember, the series opener drew 9,000.
Right.
Up to almost
16,
17 last night, and now 22 here. Joe Smith coming on to pitch the 8th inning for the Indians, bottom third of the order for Tampa. I like Joe Smith rocking the blue undershirt, the long sleeves.
He looks good in that uniform.
I think Dennis Eckersley would approve of that.
Yeah, yes, he would. Eck would love that. Well, a nice start for Mike Clevenger.
Boy, it sure
tonight.
was.
7 innings, 4 hits. He walked 1, struck out 9. He was very good tonight.
2 strikes on Trevor Plouffe. The only walk Clevenger allowed tonight was to Plouffe in that 5th inning, and that's the only inning, Archer, where he really had to work hard tonight.
Yeah, he had a couple of base runners. That's where the guy got caught stealing third base, Miller.
Yep.
And that helped him out in that inning.
I think it was his only 20-plus pitch inning that he had tonight. Oh, he took a little something off and strikes him out. 10th strikeout for Cleveland pitching tonight. And here is a look at Mike Clevenger's work. The Crimson Flow had it rolling tonight with 9 strikeouts.
Yeah, and it comes on a variety of pitches. The fastball, the slider. He had some good changeups rolling tonight to the left-handers. But did control. Got a little help from your friends right there. Gio's been playing some good defense. Clevenger likes that one. Good start for him. Here's Smith again trying to bunt. I mean, he's making this a work of art. That's part of his game plan. He's bunted every time, every game we've played him so far in this series.
A ball and a strike.
Yeah, we saw something pretty neat on the scoreboard today as they were flashing back with, you know, honoring the 70s. We saw the disco night in Chicago.
Disco demolition night.
Yes.
At Old Comiskey Park.
That was a treat to see, wasn't it?
It was fun. It was a fun look back at a bizarre
night
time in our country's history and in baseball.
Right. We know somebody that was there firsthand.
Yeah.
Mr. Jim Volk was our stadium ops man in charge of everything now. He was back in Chicago then.
Yeah, he told me an interesting element to that story that I'd never heard before was not only did they have to forfeit that game because the field was unplayable, but then Baltimore came in on the next homestand and they had to give up 2 games there. Same reason. There's another strikeout for Joe Smith. The field was unplayable, but it wasn't just because of disco demolition night. They had a concert while the team was out of town. A bunch of bands came in and the
trashed it.
Fans came down on the field again.
That was big in ballparks back in the 70s, having these, you know, maybe 4 or 5 group concerts.
I remember as a kid hearing on the radio the World Series of Rock coming
World
to Cleveland
Series of
Stadium.
Rock, absolutely.
And that sounded
That's
like
what it was.
That just sounded like pure Armageddon.
Yeah, you should have seen the fields. I mean, I came back to Cleveland, and I'll tell you what.
You probably don't want to tell us.
Well, I can't tell you all, but boy, it used to stink, and they'd have to paint the field, and it was terrible.
But the concert was great.
The concerts, you guys had fun. We'd come home, and I wonder why we stunk.
Joe Smith with a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Adeiny Echeverria. He had a key at bat in this game back in the 5th inning. There were 2 on and 2 out, and he put up a great battle. Really made Mike Clevenger work hard, but in the end, he fouled out to first base. Rays didn't score, and they're 2 for their last 35 with runners in scoring position.
Big at bat, you're right, in the game.
That went 11 pitches. Smashed to short. Lindor goes back, hangs with it, and makes a split play to get him. The Rays go 1-2-3. And we go to the 9th. 3-0 Cleveland. follow. Steve Cishek coming on here to pitch tonight. 30th appearance of the year. He's got Santana, Almonte, and Perez due up. Santana fouls it back. Nice off-speed pitch, and Santana finds himself in the hole 0-2.
Just a funky little arm angle here, and the deception with the body and where you see it come from. Tries to hide everything.
Up high to Santana. High, right up in front of the second base bag is Adeiny Echeverria, and that is out number 1. Recapping the storylines, brought to you by Mazda. Chris Archer. Well, the Indians, they have had his number. He has never beaten the Tribe, and while they didn't knock him all over the park, they did knock him out prior to concluding 6 innings of work. And Jay Bruce, a couple of runs batted in, clutch tonight. Up and away. Abraham Almonte 0 for 3 has struck out. Grounded out, fly out. This is foul and out of play over top of the Indians dugout. Well, it is amazing every time we come here how many Indians fans turn out, and they're all sitting behind the Indians dugout.
Yeah, they had a nice crowd tonight before the game over there.
When the guys come off the field, it startles them a little bit just how many Indians fans are up on their feet cheering for them right over the top of their dugout. Upstairs, 2-2. It does not startle Andre Knott, however. He's always
he's
a
up
man
there
of the
waving
people.
in between. Yeah,
Yes.
he certainly is. He's waving them all in between innings.
Almonte down on strikes, 2 away.
Only because they're asking where the governor is. They'll ask about the gov and has he got the uniform on.
Listen, come on, Mayor. You're down there in Holton Court.
I'm a spokesman for you. You know
You
that.
are a man of the people. Yes, you are. Let your voice be heard. And it is.
Cody Allen is up in the Tribe pen, getting ready to come on in the bottom of the 9th. It's a safe situation unless Roberto Perez takes one deep here. Right back here tomorrow for a 1 o'clock series finale. The 1-1, and it's down and in. 2-1 pitch. Just misses inside. Now a 3-1 offering. And it's low, ball 4, so that will keep the inning alive. As Giovanni Urshela will come to the plate, 1 for 3 on the night. Urshela's hit back in the 5th inning was a smash right back up the middle. And Chris Archer looked like he got his glove up. And A, trying to catch it, B, trying to just self-preservation instincts. But he went one way, the ball went the other, and Urshela had a well-deserved single. And luckily, Archer was fine. This was the play back in the 5th.
Watch him falling off. And he was able to knock it down with his glove and then slip on the turf. Well, that got back in a hurry. He really did. He couldn't do anything else to it.
Oh, that's called a strike, and it's 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch, and he pops it back out of play. Reached for it, just spoils it by putting it out of play to the right. And we'll try again. That's going to get Perez down to second base. So the wild pitch has a runner in scoring position now.
There you go. Take an extra base and an opportunity to add on.
Quick meeting?
Yeah, he's going to go out and talk to him about the signs with a man on second base.
Is some guy yelling, "Here we go, Brownies"? There's a ground ball short. Echeverria throws him out, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. 3-0 Cleveland. Indians were up 2-0 when Brad Miller, who had doubled to lead off the inning, tried to steal third, and Robo said, no, sir.
Yeah, he got a nice throw out the tag right before that. I know, and I understand he was trying to make something happen, but if you do it in that situation, you better make it. He did not. So that ended up, that was the inning that really Mike Clevenger had his toughest inning because he had to throw a lot of pitches to get through it. But he did, and it ended with a 0. Cody Allen coming on now for the Indians for the 47th time. Save situation. It's a 3-0 ball game.
Corey Dickerson leading it off, looks at a breaking ball outside. 1-0. Tried pulling fans young and old here tonight. I watched another clinic put on by the Indians pitching staff, and they've been doing this here in Tampa for the last several years. Now the 1-1. Threw it right by him. Good fastball.
Get a piece to survive, live another pitch. This is the guy that did the damage to the Indians in game 1. He had a big 3-run home run late in the ball game.
Threw it by him. Fastball. 1 down in the ninth. 12th strikeout for Indians pitching on the night.
There you go. That's about belt high on the inner part of the plate. Cody Allen gets his first strikeout.
Gets ahead with a fastball. Lucas Duda 0 for 3 on the night. Ball outside.
There's a good breaking ball.
Tried to hold up, but he went around. Because he makes the call himself. Perez's throw to first is in time. 2 down.
I like what Santana did. He went on the outside part of first base and gave Perez a target to throw at. And you'll be able to see it from behind. He had to go back and pick it up, so Santana wisely. He's in foul territory, and Perez knows that ball gets away, so he says, all right, I've got time, don't panic. But there he is on the outside part of that bag with the runner going down, and he's trying to get into his way, but Santana did a nice job to give him a clear lane to throw.
Raised out of their final out, and Steven Souza Jr. is the batter. 2 balls and a strike. Twins leading the Tigers 11-7 in the 8th. Minnesota's banged out 17 hits in that game. Ooh. Swung through a high fastball. And now the Indians fans who are here making themselves heard. And there are a lot of them as they all rise up. High fastball. And a full count. I'd almost go out on a limb and say it might be 50-50 Indians fans to Rays fans here tonight.
Very well could be.
3-2, pop back out of play. You look over behind the Cleveland dugout, and that whole side is all Cleveland fans.
Well, I'm sure they can get good seats here coming down to Tampa.
Yeah.
Get them. I want to be right behind the dugout, the Indians dugout. Thank you.
Cody Allen, again the 3-2 offering. And it's popped in the air to right field. Jay Bruce, who drove in 2 runs tonight, seals it with a catch. And the Indians have authored back-to-back shutouts for the 2nd time this year. As they blank the Rays 3-0, they've won 2 out of 3 and a chance to make it 3 out of 4 in the series finale tomorrow. I like that, Jay Bruce, like the old golfer. Took the hat off and then did the handshake on the 18th green.
Yeah,
I like that.
Absolutely.
How about this number 2, Arch? Starting pitchers now. In the last 5 games, Cleveland Indians starting pitchers have given up 3 runs.
In 5 games. Nice.
That is impressive.
Yeah, they're 11th shutout of the year. That's the best in the American League. The Dodgers lead all of baseball with 20.